Hi, this is Mr. Max. I am doing a very short question on finding the constant involved in working out the frequency density. So you have got here a group frequency table and it shows the masses of 132 children, and the masses of children who have a mass of between 5 and 10 are 36. You see they are grouped in that class interval. The masses of children who have masses between 15 and 10 kilogram are 24, and the masses of children between 25 and 15 kilogram are 24 as well. And lastly, the masses of children between 25 and 40 kilogram are 48. So they are grouped in those different class intervals. Now, Margaret represents this information on a histogram. So the height of the bar, which represent the 36 children, with a mass of between 5 and 10 kilogram is 14.4 centimeters. So you're supposed to calculate the height of the bar for the interval between 25 and 15 or 15 and 25 kilograms. And then the B part to the question, we're supposed to estimate the mean mass of the 132 children. So the question doesn't really require you to draw the histogram. It just wants you to answer these two-part questions. You're supposed to calculate the height of the bar for the interval between 15 and 25 kilograms. Right, so I have made some work on my table. So what I have done here on top, I have added an extra row where I calculated the class width, and that one you can easily find by subtracting 10 minus 5, for example, giving you that 5, 15 minus 10 giving you that 5, 25 minus 15 giving you that 10, 40 minus 25 giving you that 15 there. All right, and then I also added the mid-interval values because we don't really know exactly from these 36 learners, for example, who has a mass of 5 or 6 or 7 or 8. We just know that there are 36 who have a mass between that class interval. So we take the mid-interval of that class, all right, the middle, so to speak. So the middle, the average there more or less is going to be 7.5. And subsequently here, the average of 24 is going to be 12.5. The average of 10 plus 15, rather. And the average here of this class interval is 20. And the average of this class interval here is 32.5. So this gives us just an idea, more or less, what is the average height of the children in that class interval. Not the height, but the average mass. Okay, so we say that the children who are in the interval between 5 and 10 kilograms, on average, have a mass of about 7.5 kilograms. So that's just the average within the class interval, because we don't really have the data to discretely say of these 36, A, B, C, D, and so on have this mass and so on. So we just average it out, as we say. So when you ask to calculate the height, okay, so we're going to use that mid-interval values when I do the second part of the question, namely to estimate the mean. Now, frequency density, I hope you still remember, it's the frequency divided by the class width. So we are told that the height of the bar, which represent the 36 children, with the masses between 10 and 5 or 5 and 10 is 14.4. So once we calculate the frequency density, we don't really get to that 14.4. We get to 7.2. So we need to find what is that constant. And that constant we find by dividing that 14.4 by the 7.2, the information given. So the constant that we need to multiply each of the frequency densities with is going to be 2. So for example, when we do the 24 over 5, multiply by 2. So it's going to be 9.6 centimeters high when we draw that bar graph. And the 24 divided by 10, the frequency density in this class interval, and multiplying that by 2 gives you 4.8 centimeters, and the last one gives you 6.4 centimeters. So I actually calculated them all. But the question is only asking for the height of the bar in the class interval between 15 and 25, which happens to be 4.8. Right, this part where I talked about the mid-interval values, we're going to now find the estimate of the mean. We can't calculate the mean because this is group data. So that is where the mid-interval comes in. So whenever you get such a question and somewhere you're told to find the mean, the estimate of the mean, you need to do something like this. Work out the mid-interval values and then use them, multiply them with the frequencies and add them up as you go along, and that total of 2610 you divide by the number of learners, which is or children, which is 132. That gives you about 19.7727 kilogram. So it says that on average the estimated mean of these 132 children is about 9.8 kilograms.